Welcome back, everybody. It's been, what, 2 weeks since we've been on? Basically, what happened, I was working on my regular job, which it'd probably be boring. But today we got some great topics that we're going to talk about. We're going to have AEW, New Japan, NXT, and some others. But also, what I saw at Comic-Con when I was working. So, we'll start with this latest episode now.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Alright, so if you guys wondering, what was I doing in Comic-Con? I wasn't attending. He knows it, right?
Most definitely. Well, you were working.
Security.
Yes, like I don't know why you would say that it was boring. Like
No, for some people would think, because the thing is this. I work security. I may see cool things that happen in some events. But Comic-Con, I did not expect to see. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, here's a little something you may want to know what I saw. Yes, so now you know. I met Gabriel Iglesias. Well, I already knew him in person. He knew me because I was working WWE when they were here a few years back.
Martin!
Yeah, he's a wrestling fan, if you guys don't know that. He's a big-time wrestling fan. I saw him, like, right in front of me when he was with his girlfriend and son, Frankie. And he was a big-time wrestling fan, so he remembered me from that time. And I became his security guy when he was doing his autograph session. Now, here's the funny part. The Thursday I was there, he was doing the autograph session. And guess who showed up? Xavier Woods. He was there to surprise him. Now, of course, he was going to cut in the front of the line. He's Xavier Woods. You know? So he was there. And then the following day, Kofi Kingston shows up. And Gabriel became like the sub-in for Big E.
I like that.
They were doing the new Big Rocks. And then they were doing He rocks. But it was awesome, you know, seeing those two there. But now they weren't the only ones I saw. I did saw Drake Maverick there because if you follow the whole story what's going on with Raw, that he was looking for R-Truth for the 24/7 title. I was hoping to run into him, but of course he was there dressed up as a penguin. I didn't see it, but it's on YouTube if you catch it. But I thought it was hilarious. And of course he showed up in one of the panels wearing a banana outfit, saying out the wanted posters. And then the other non-WWE wrestlers I saw there was Big Papa Pump Scott Steiner wearing his NWO shirt and that little mesh thing on his head. I didn't get a chance to take a photo with him because the guys who run the security consultant was there. I didn't want to get in trouble. But the last day I did run into Tessa Blanchard. And my God, she looks amazing. At first, I thought she was taller than me. Like, I was assuming maybe 5'8" or something.
At least.
You probably thought the same thing too. But I did tell her. First time I saw her was what was it? Watching her at the Crash in a 6-man tag team with 2 dudes and this other team with another female. But she said it's something I did not know because it happened from a distance. That she hit her face really hard. Like she was bleeding from the nose. And I'm like, oh, I didn't know that. But she kind of confirmed that to me. I don't know if she might have thought if I knew or didn't, but it doesn't really matter. It was a good show.
Right.
You know what I mean? Who doesn't love Tessa? I mean, she's an amazing. She was there because this coming September, they're going to start doing tapings for Women of Wrestling Season 2. As you may or may not know, she is the current champion for that promotion.
Also, a 3rd or 4th generation wrestler?
She's a 3rd generation. Her grandfather's a wrestler, her dad's a wrestler, her stepdad's a wrestler. Well, if you know, her dad is a former member of the 4 Horsemen. So, if you guys don't know who she is, follow her. She's amazing. You know, she's one hell of a wrestler. And I have to say, she's one of my favorite wrestlers to watch when she does intergender matches.
Oh, yeah.
So, that's basically what happened in Comic-Con. So, keep in mind, if you do go to Comic-Con, I don't care how you do it. If you manage to get passes or whatever, you may run into some famous wrestlers there. Last year, I ran into Joey Ryan. And he was a nice guy to meet. He was there too, but he wasn't there at the booth where he was last year. Because he was doing that whole thing with the film. A wrestling story or whatever they call it.
Oh, yeah.
You know, but yeah. So, if you guys want to go to Comic-Con, meet some wrestlers, if you ever get the chance, go to Comic-Con. Try to get the passes fast as possible, or try to get at least one day, if it's possible.
Day pass?
Yeah, so that's it what we got for Comic-Con. Alright, so right now we got the AEW stuff. So as we already know, Fight for the Fallen passed in his own news, but we never gave our opinion what we thought of the matches. Like, it was pretty good.
For Fight for the Fallen versus Fyter Fest?
Yeah, like, it was, I'd say Fight for the Fallen was better than Fyter Fest, you know?
Yeah, I could jump on that.
Because this is how I see it. Like, I look at Double or Nothing as number 1.
Mm-hmm.
Fyter Fest number 2. Fight for the Fallen number 2. And Fyter Fest 3. So that's how I measured all 3 of them so far.
Yeah.
You know? But I can't wait to see what All Out's going to throw in. You know? What do you think?
I feel like not Fyter Fest, but Fight for the Fallen was a pretty good show. I like a lot of well, obviously the Bucks versus the Rhodes. That was really awesome.
Mm-hmm.
However, like their timing on the event is still kind of off. They kind of got cut off with the Bucks promo about the Rhodes being like.
Oh yeah, they were running out of time on that one. I mean, of course they had to present the check.
Oh yeah, they had to present the checks. Yeah.
I mean, we saw Shahid Khan was there, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, now he's getting into the whole thing.
Oh yeah.
I mean, even though he invested in this, but his son is the one in charge.
Oh yeah.
You know, so I have to say.
Did you know that his son Tony Khan, he's the one that's in gorilla position?
No.
Yeah.
No. So yeah, I'm very happy how this one turned out. I have to say it was better than Fyter Fest. It's number 2 on my book for so far in the pay-per-views. But of course, the recent news we've been hearing was the weekly TV show that was announced last Wednesday. You know, with it said it's gonna come out on October 2nd, and I mean, I'm excited for it. Are you?
For All Out?
No, for the weekly TV show.
Oh, the weekly TV show. Oh hell yeah, it's gonna be. Oh man. There's like just a lot of things that I'm excited for. Like, if there's gonna be like more championships besides the tag team. Is there gonna be like a television championship?
They did ask Nakasawa on the BT being the elite mailing. Is there going to be like other type of titles, like let's say like the Intercontinental stuff, or the?
Yeah.
He said that he was considering they should do that because he fits the bill for those type of titles.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, but we've got to look at this that right now for that. We have to focus more on the more important titles. You know, like the world title, the women's title, the tag team titles. Those are like the ones that are more important.
Right.
You know, so they have to be the first priority.
Yeah. And then just not just that, but like character development, stable development.
Yeah. So they said that the show will start on October 2nd at the Capital One Arena in Washington D.C. You know, I'm excited for what they're going to do
on TNT.
Yeah, on TNT. So they already announced it. Everybody in the all the elite roster members are teasing this on Twitter. If you follow them. So let's go with the All Out. We've been hearing with a lot of the matches they've been throwing in, but we're aware before that of 2 matches. Hangman Page versus Chris Jericho for the world title.
That's gonna be the main event.
One of the 2 main events.
Oh, double main event. Okay.
Of course, the other one is Omega versus Moxley.
Versus Moxley? Okay.
I mean, if you look at it, we have 2 great matches and 2 great stories in this whole thing. You know what I mean? So there's that, and then we find out we have Cody versus Shawn Spears. Then we have the Bucks versus Lucha Bros again, but this time in a ladder match for the AAA tag team titles. Then we got a triple threat match between Joey Janela, Jimmy Havoc, and of course, who was it? Oh yeah, Joey Janela, Jimmy Havoc. Oh yeah, Darby Allin.
Ooh, I'm liking Darby Allin. I'm paying more attention to him lately.
Oh yeah. So, but there will be more matches they probably will announce. I mean, I think they're still trying to develop. But there is one match I hope they put in is Britt Baker versus B. Priestley.
No.
I mean, if you follow the pre-show on the fight for the Fallen, that kind of sinks into it.
Yeah.
You know, and I would like to see also Awesome Kong versus Aja Kong.
Yeah, let's see more of that. A little bit more of that Joshi style.
Yeah, I would love to see that too, because it's like there's great stories that they build with it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you look at All Out, this is part 2 of All In, but it's officially All In was not part of the AEW thing.
Well, no.
But for the Christ's sakes, for us who are diehard fans, let's just make it is.
Oh yeah.
You know, but
it's the Trailblazer.
yeah. So that's how it was, and of course, recent news we've been if you've been hearing or not, they have been members of the roster of AEW has been appearing at AAA.
Yes.
You know, they had Cody and MJF in a tag team against Daga, who was Tessa's boyfriend, and Taurus. Basically, the story is Cody has a problem with Taurus. He attacked him from behind the first time they went there.
Ah, okay.
It's because if you follow the story, Conan did not like the idea of Cody making an appearance without talking to him.
Oh.
The thing is, Conan, he's in charge of bringing foreign wrestlers, and of course, Cody looks at himself like, I'm the executive vice president, you're just the employee.
Oh.
And he had Taurus and the mercenaries right there with him.
They had that little back and forth on video.
Yeah. There's videos of that you can find on YouTube.
Okay.
But there was the tag team match that Cody was in was MJF. It was pretty cool. Like, MJF was coming out as usual, flipping people off, all this, being MJF that he is. But it was a good match. But, of course, the greatest thing is that they're going to be going to the Triple Mania event, which is their equivalent of WrestleMania during the summer. You know, so I'm excited for that. Cody's going to be in a 6-man tag team with 2 others. And I forgot who was the opponents for him, and the Bucks, along with Kenny, will be in the Elite. They will be in a rematch against Laredo Kid and the Lucha Brothers. Basically, a rematch from Fyter Fest.
Ah, okay.
So it's part 2.
There we go.
So try to keep tabs on those 2. Now let's talk about this last thing: the current situation with CM Punk.
Here we go.
I know people say they're getting tired of it.
Here
you know?
we go.
But here's the thing that recently came out yesterday. This came in from Destination Pro Wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, CM Punk is unhappy with them because they felt like they're using him.
I get it.
You know, but if you're gonna have an offer from him, do it face to face.
Yeah.
They're basically doing this via Twitter. Via text
messages.
But I feel like if you're gonna make an offer to him, how hard it is just to fly.
Yeah.
To meet up with them. I mean, if you recall, Vince McMahon set out an apology to him via Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, come on. You're not going to apologize to someone via Twitter. That's like you're saving your own butt.
Right.
You know, because we all know Vince has been a hard ass.
Yeah.
Throughout the entire time. But if the guys from AEW had indecency, please try to go face to face and talk to him.
I mean, if you look at New Japan, they actually flew out to Chris Jericho and approached him about the 3 matches that he had in New Japan. They went out of their way. They spent their money to go and approach him. Where if it's not that hard for Japan to do that, I mean, like, why not be able to do that within the States? I mean,
well, because the thing is like, I don't want to say that I'm anti-American, but us Americans, we can be stubborn at certain points.
That's true. You know, it's kind of like how we don't really see soccer as a national sport.
Yeah, so that's the whole thing.
The rest of the world sees it.
That's the whole thing. Let's just say our stubbornness clouds our judgment in certain ways. I mean, I tried to apologize to someone on text, but I don't think I heard anything back. So, you know, that's on me. Feel that. But yeah, so Punk
we are sorry.
Yeah. So Punk right now, he's not like happy with the whole thing, but I know he's a valuable asset they will love to have. You know,
he'd be a valuable asset anywhere he went.
You know, they were Square Circle Psychobabble did this thing where what can he bring to like the ratings? Would they get enough fan base for AEW, all that? You know, but yeah, I can see that it could happen. But if I was AEW, try to do things the right way rather than try to take the easy way.
Oh yeah.
I mean, there's always that saying with anybody. there's an easy way and there's the right way, you know, and I feel like they should do the things the right way. You know, I mean, people are getting fed up with the whole thing with Punk, but we need to understand, like, I feel like Punk was broken because of what happened.
I feel it. I feel it.
You know, and I don't blame him for what he's feeling, but we need to understand what he was going through. So we're
not going to see a best in the world triple threat?
I would love to see that. People even talk about who would he feud if he goes to AEW. Some say Jericho, others said Moxley, others say maybe Kenny Omega, but who knows? But my first gut would say he'll go after whoever holds the title.
That makes sense.
I mean, that's
straight for the jugular.
Of course, that's how I see it. But we'll keep more tabs on Punk and the rest of AEW, what's going on. So right now, let's just keep on rolling with the show. Alright, so right now let's talk about New Japan's G1 Climax. I mean, I have to say so far, this is the best G1 I've ever seen.
Yeah. It took me a while to say that because the first few matches, none of my boys won, so I was like, this is whack. And then as we fell more into the days, I was like, this is fire.
You know, one thing led to another. I think certain wrestlers have surprised us to us, G1.
Oh, hell yeah.
Mostly from Kenta and Moxley.
Mm-hmm.
You know. There were people that were hoping Naito because he was more like the fan favorite.
Oh, yeah.
You know. And then there's Sonata, who we can see he is hungry to get to the top to get the title.
Mm-hmm.
We got that. And then we got Will Ospreay, who is a junior heavyweight, now going to the heavyweight division.
And Shingo.
Yeah, and Shingo, too. And that's kind of surprising, too. And then there's Taichi, his first time ever being there. But I feel sorry for him for what he did on the first day. When he attacked Moxley from behind.
Oh, yeah.
I have to say, that was a mistake on his part. He should have known better.
Mm-hmm.
But I have to say, I like the whole thing with Moxley. With Shooter.
No, with Shota? Oh, hell yeah. I appreciate that the most because, like, before Moxley even came on the scene, like, I had my eye on Shota. Like, that's one of the ones that I want to see, like, once he gets out of the Young Lion program. And apparently they see something as well because they paired him up with Moxley.
Yeah, if you ever see him and he comes out with the title, or wearing the Moxley
the US
shirt.
IWGP.
Yeah, and he doesn't call him Shota, he just calls him Shooter. You know, so he always asks him for advice during his post interviews when he's not teaming with him. He has go on, give me some more lines. And then remember what he said about, you know, it's bad enough for Ishii to break furniture. You know how my wife gets. So I have to say, Moxley could be one of those guys that could go to the finals, but we're not sure if they're
breakout performer.
Yeah, and we don't know for sure if they're going to allow him to win the whole thing or just see how it goes with it. You know what I mean? But
he's an A block or B block?
B block.
He's a B block. And then you got Kenta and A block.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So far, we now know that Moxley in the B block, he's the only one who's at the top, 8 points. And as for A block, we got Okada and Kenta, both tied 8 points each. So right now, that's a match we definitely got to see between Okada and Kenta. Because if you look at this, you got Okada, who's been considered as the best champion of all time. You look at Kenta, who is basically a fabulous wrestler, one of the best ones in all of Japan. Even though he was with Pro Wrestling Noah, his reputation preceded him. You know, and now that he's with New Japan, that breaks the new ground-breaking rates for these guys. You know, and what I like about Kenta, he's like out there to make a statement, like show who the real Kenta really is. Yeah. You know, and. Not to mention, if you guys don't know this, he's been mostly hanging out with Shibata with the LA dojo. You know,
along with Hiroki Goto.
Yeah, and not to mention one thing you did talked about to me. You were surprised about Toru Yano.
Oh man, Toru Yano. That like if you can appreciate comedy wrestling, then Toru Yano is your guy. I mean. Yeah, he rolled up Naito, but I still enjoyed that match.
I mean, of course, Naito's the favorite, but we gotta appreciate Toru's
Yeah.
Comedy routine, his lack of effort, how he is. I mean, I will never forget last year when he faced Kenny Omega at the G1. Where he picked him up and put him on the cushions of the turnbuckles, and Kenny's like, what the hell? I mean, who doesn't love it? He's like, he still does like,
yeah. It is his shout out to RVD.
Yeah, and there have been wrestlers that were surprising that I felt like they could make it. Like Sonata's one of those guys.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
without a doubt.
I mean, I was like a little sad that he lost to Evil, but
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we all know that Sonata's the better one, but Evil's getting the bigger push over there. I mean, Milano likes him, so there's that.
Yeah, so I'm like, right now, we still don't know who can be able to make it to advance, you know, because I know that you said that those who make the most points are automatically still in it. Mm-hmm. But there are those that if they're like maybe halfway there to the points.
Naito and Jay White, they have to win their next few matches.
So they could still make it. So we still don't know who are able to continue on. Because this is not a tournament of elimination. It's more about points. You know, so if you guys don't follow that, then you guys are missing out or don't understand it at all. But I can't wait to see Okada versus Kenta. That's one match we got to pay attention to.
Oh, yeah.
Because you got two of the best in Japan facing off.
Yeah, depending on where you are, it's going to be on in the middle of the night on Friday or Saturday night.
So, yeah. So we'll keep tabs more on the G1. We'll see how far they'll go with who advances and when we'll see the finals, you know. Mm-hmm. So stay tuned for more on the New Japan segment. Alright, so since we talked about AEW's upcoming weekly TV show taking place in October, let's talk about WWE's way saying they want to counter them. This was approached by the Fox network.
Right.
Since they already talk about having SmackDown on the Fox network. Mm-hmm. They approached them saying they want to bring the NXT to the Fox Sports 1 channel. And of course, this is like their way trying to compete with AEW. Now, you probably wonder why not SmackDown, why not Raw? Like, no, it's not going to work out with them. Both shows have already been losing ratings on that. That's NXT right. So far, I'm not against the NXT. I have to say they do have great talent.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even watch Raw or SmackDown anymore. First, I didn't watch Raw and only watched SmackDown. Now I don't even watch neither. But I still pay attention to NXT.
I mean, they do have some great talent wrestlers in this, and you know. But the one thing I did not like is when they mention by they want to bring in members of the main roster. To me, that's like a complete shot in the foot on their part because we don't need them to be on NXT. I don't know if they think this is gonna boost the ratings. Of like, it doesn't work that way. If you bring in Seth Rollins or Braun Strowman, that's just like saying you're trying desperate to outdo AEW.
Yeah, well, what it is it's Vince McMahon's faith in NXT. Like he gave that to Hunter, but the evidence of him having faith in it is right there, as clear as day. Like, oh, they're gonna broadcast NXT, but let's have main talent be on it. That's just from my point of view. Like that's another example of Vince McMahon's faith in smaller guys' talent.
To me, I feel like let these guys do this without the help of the main roster. Mm-hmm. You know, and this is, of course, this is Triple H's baby. Don't forget that. You know, there is no way Triple H would allow that to happen. Mm-hmm. Because if you recall, Vince he was against Vince the idea of bringing Ciampa, Gargano, Ricochet, and Alistair to the main roster for a short time. Mm-hmm. But if I was Triple H, don't allow these guys, the main roster, come back because it would make things look worse for them. You know, because we don't need them if that's the whole case. Mm-hmm. You know, because if you do, then that's gonna be like telling the fans, "Oh, come on, we're really gonna see this?"
Yeah.
I mean, if we saw either Seth Rollins or Braun Strowman's or Roman Reigns or whoever, I'm turning it off.
Right? It's like, come on now.
Let the NXT do things how it is now. Don't try to bring in the veteran wrestlers into this, because it's kind of like you're sending yourself into a death wish.
Oh, yeah.
You know. But I would like to see how this goes, you know, with NXT, because I feel like NXT is the better brand than
it is.
Than SmackDown and Raw.
Easily, the takeovers are better altogether.
Yeah. But we will keep more tabs on the NXT stuff, see what else we do know or find out, because I know they're trying to find a way to counter AEW with this. But we don't know, because if you heard of what Cody said on Fight for the Fallen, you can't counter them.
Right.
So we'll see how that goes from both sides.
Well, hopefully it goes better than planned, because, like, you know, healthy competition is good. It gets to, from, you know, if history repeats itself, it's good for business. Yeah. I mean, you can't be on the top of the mountain forever. I mean,
no.
you gotta have someone challenging you to make you do better as well.
Yeah. Or
just fall flat in your face.
Of course. So we'll see how this goes with both companies and NXT. I know that there will be more details that will be revealed soon from both sides. So we'll keep more tabs on NXT. Alright, so let's talk about Impact Wrestling. If you may or may not heard, there have been wrestlers that may want to leave Impact Wrestling. Now, if you guys don't know, the last pay-per-view featured Johnny Multiple, as I call him. You may know him as Johnny Mundo, Johnny Impact, or Johnny Nitro, whatever. His contract was already up, but there's talk that Impact still wants to have him. But there is also talk that WWE wants to bring him back, but he will not go back unless they recruit his wife, but they're not going to do that. You know, but he also said he wants to have a lighter schedule. Reason behind that was he wants to do his acting stuff. You know, from what I understood. And then we got LAX, who we can consider them as also part of the top tag team in the division, you know? And right now, AEW and WWE have their eyes set on them, but I did hear that Impact are also trying to work out a deal for them. So basically, you got three that wants LAX.
There you go.
Now, they have been analysis on sides of AEW and WWE. Now, let's say they go to WWE. There's a chance they might put them in NXT, and they probably have them, you know, cut down on their image a bit, which is, we can say that's a bunch of crap.
Yeah.
You know, but if they go to AEW, they fit perfectly, because they are trying to make tag team division AEW more mainstream than ever.
To go to where tag team wrestling can be appreciated.
Yeah. So there are those that do say they would rather see them anywhere from AEW or Impact except WWE. You know, I can see they can go either one, either AEW or Impact. But personally, for me, I do like to see them in AEW, because you need more tag team to make it more credible than it should be. You know, because we do have, for AEW, the Lucha Brothers, the Bucks, the Best Friends, a boy and his dinosaur, Angelico and Evans, Dark Order, Private Party.
SoCal Uncensored.
Oh, and that too. So I feel like they should go to AEW. But if Impact does have a deal for them, then at least they'll be fine. And I'll be fine with it too. And then we got Killer Cross. Like, he requested his release from Impact, and they said no.
They told him he couldn't leave?
Yeah.
Damn.
I mean, they let go his girlfriend, Scarlett Bordeaux. But they said no to him. I mean, I just don't know if he was having issues with them, or there was something that he was unhappy with. I mean, I just don't know what was the reasons of his release. They didn't give out a statement on that.
Undisclosed.
But we will keep tabs more on what's going on in the Impact, see what's happening with these guys, because if you have the recent news, Rhino made an appearance in Impact.
And then RVD as well, or
that he RVD is in there, but I don't know if you heard this. He appeared at the Raw reunion this past Monday. Now WWE approached Impact saying it was okay for them to appear at the Raw reunion, but they said they didn't see that as a problem. But I did hear that he was high. He was high. He said, here's the thing. He said he will never get high in Impact Wrestling, but other companies, yes.
There you go.
I'm
starting to pay attention to Impact. I mean, ever since I found out that Don Callis is like the lead commentator over there.
They did say that Impact does have the best stories.
Oh.
You know, unlike WWE that makes stories that make no sense.
Yeah, that might be something that we could be on board with.
Same here. So we'll keep tabs more on Impact and what's going on, and hopefully some of these wrestlers can be able to stay, or if they don't, then we'll be happy to see them somewhere else. We just don't know where.
Right.
All right, the last thing we're going to talk about is partnerships with promotions. If you may have not heard a couple of days ago, Ring of Honor and NWA, the National Wrestling Alliance, are parting ways. Now, you're probably wondering, did one company did something wrong? The case? No.
What's the scoop?
From what I understood, that they, Billy Corgan, if you know who he is, he's the front man of the Smashing Pumpkins. He felt that it was time for NWA to part ways to do their own thing.
He's also a long-time wrestling enthusiast.
Of course, if you've seen him in ECW and TNA, he also did own half of TNA when Dixie Carter was still running things.
He's much like Tony Khan, a fan with a bank account.
Of course. So the idea, what I heard, that once Billy Corgan is done touring with Smashing Pumpkin, he's going to dedicate his time with NWA to have a TV deal of their own. Now, there's nothing that went wrong between them. It was an amicable split. If you are aware or not, members of the Villain Enterprise, PCO, and Brody are the current NWA Tag Team Champions. Now, you probably wondering, do they have to vacate it or relinquish it? Well, apparently it didn't happen that way. They're going to allow them to continue. Because we don't know how their contract status is with Ring of Honors.
Right.
Because we have been hearing that Marty could be leaving soon. You know, but we don't know yet exactly. Like, what's the scoop with Villain Enterprise? But we will keep tabs on that, as always, if anything new comes up. But I did hear that they want to have their own TV deal. You know, I mean, I would like to see that. Because, I feel like, this is the year of professional wrestling to rise up in its own terms, you know? Without WWE trying to pretend they're the top banana.
Right.
You know, because if you look at this, like, it's like almost every wrestling promotion is rising up. You know, it's like you got AEW leading the charge. And all promotions are following their lead. So,
and you look at New Japan is doing more U.S. tours.
Oh yeah, that's true. And then, for the final thing for the partnership, this morning, I just told you this, there's a new alliances between MLW, Major League Wrestling, with Pro Wrestling Noah. You know, this is something good for MLW. Because seriously, Pro Wrestling Noah, I don't think they trust WWE after what happened with Kenta. I mean, 5 years for him in WWE, that kind of like went to hell for him. You know, injuries and all that, and Kenta not being Kenta who he was. But I feel that they found the right promotion. If you've seen the videos of MLW, right? No. Like any of the matches? With MLW, not Noah.
No. I mean, I saw the one with the Dynasty and the Heart Foundation.
Yeah.
Was it? Yeah, I saw that.
Like
one.
you can see, like this is more wrestling that it should be.
And I like Jim Cornette as a commentator.
Yeah. So I feel Pro Wrestling Noah made the right choice aligning themselves with them.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, I don't think they would trust WWE at all.
Well, no.
I mean,
it's like they said. It's like they say about anything, but when it comes to like partnering with wrestling, WWE, they're doing something different. They're wrestling entertainment, whereas all the other promotions, they still do the entertainment part, but they try to like model it as like in simulated combat sports, which is why like companies like AEW are making a point that our championships matter, like the storylines are going to matter, which is why it's hard for other companies to like trust to work with WWE.
Yeah, because I know they have an alliance with Evolve, which is one of their independent promotions, because the promoter used to work for them.
Who's them?
Gabe something. He's the promoter of Evolve.
Okay. Evolve working with
WWE.
What? Okay, WWE. Okay.
Because many of the NXT stars came from there, from what I understood.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like that's a good partnership, because Evolve can succeed without WWE. But right now with MLW and Pro Wrestling Now, this is going to be great, because they have one of their stars that did make appearances there. His name is Minoru Tanaka. He actually impressed me a lot.
Was sorry to cut you off about that one. Was there any news about Evolve's 10-year reunion airing the same time as the Fight for the Fallen?
Majority fans saw Fight for the Fallen.
That makes sense.
I think that was a mistake by WWE thinking they can trust Evolve, but it didn't happen. But yeah. So back on the track with the partnership. We have seen partnerships before, but of course we have AEW with OWE and AAA. We got New Japan with Ring of Honor, Rev Pro, and CMML.
MLW is not with AEW?
No.
They're just... well, I'm confused about that because of the whole MFJ thing.
I don't know exactly what kind of deal that they set up with MJF, because I know that both companies value him.
Yeah. So it's kind of like a Moxley situation?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I know there were many people say they would like to see MLW partnership with them, but you got to remember, Cornette works for MLW, and he's not a fan of Omega and the Bucks.
Oh, I can see that. I find it entertaining.
But we will keep tabs more on the latest stuff with MLW and Pro Wrestling Noah, and also what's the status with NWA with their own thing going on, because I'm excited to see this. See like one of the oldest promotions doing their own thing.
Oh yeah.
It's like a long time coming for these guys. So that's it for this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed. So if you want to leave comments below, leave a comment, click like, or if you have friends that like this thing, subscribe.
And share.
That too. So on behalf of me, J-Rod,
Nico,
we must bid you all adieu. So goodbye, and have a nice day. Bang!